Well, would you rather be outside? You know, being an administrator sometimes is a difficult position to have and keep everybody happy. And we're trying to do that as best we can. And I did say, we'll come inside. And Marie wanted to stay outside, but that's okay. There was a story written in the New York Times about 2 months ago. And with it came a story of a young lady who fell off her bike, 12-year-old, named Molly. And the ambulance came and was taking her to the hospital. And the mother jumped in the ambulance. And she was unconscious. And she didn't know what to do. So many of us could relate to this. What she did when you have time, and what do you turn to? And it's not necessarily God, it's your cell phone. And she got on social media and said, pray, pray, pray for my daughter. And that initiation of her to tell and ask people to pray, she got 600,000 hits. So she went through this ordeal with her daughter for 18 days while she was in a coma. And she said, nothing could have been the worst times of my life. But somehow, knowing that all these people prayed for her daughter gave her that consolation that she could get through with this. And it gave her hope. 18 days, and she died. She said, the mother, that she had to tell that story because her daughter would have wanted her to let the people know that how thankful she was. Now, I was thinking when I saw this story, and then all of a sudden I started thinking about a similar situation that you and I have in this community of believers. What have we gone through over this last year plus? How many people have died? How many people here who have been sick and recovered? And we have people right here. And we look back, and I was thinking every single Mass, there was someone who died in our community. And we all have had our issues of dealing with that, dealing with death, dealing with recovery. And how many times in the course of this last year plus have we asked for prayers, either from the family or when we found out, we put it on the prayer line. We put it in our intentions and so on. Similar to what happened with the story with Molly. Now the next situation that's similar is the gospel today. The apostles, Mary, all these loved ones that love Jesus so much, they're dealing with that same loss of Christ. But what did Christ do? He told them before he died what was going to happen. He would suffer and die and rise. And yet, no matter how many times they heard it, they just couldn't believe it. And this reference today on the road to Emmaus is so telling. And you know the story. There's two people walking down the road, and all of a sudden some stranger joins them and they say to him, have you heard? Have you heard what happened to Jesus of Nazareth? And Jesus said, well, no, tell me what happened. So he was there, and after a period of time, especially when they went they stayed with him overnight, and Jesus took bread, broke it, and gave them he did the same thing he did with those apostles on the Last Supper. So they saw him. And then, but it wasn't enough. The disciples still didn't believe it, doubting Thomas and so forth. And he kept coming back. And he came back with the same words. Peace be with you. It's okay. And that's the same thing with us, that our losses. We have to feel that peace from him. For as much as we miss those that died, they're so lucky that we were to know them and love them. I'll never forget, as a guidance counselor many years ago, a mother came in to see me whose son, 14 years old, died. And when she came in, I didn't know what I was going to say. And because we were very connected, his son and I. And she came in with a smile on her face and said how lucky we were to have her son with us for those 14 years. Ultimately, we're all going to die someday. And hopefully a few people will feel sad. But it's inevitable. That's what's going to happen. And there's no guarantees when we came on this earth. I was thinking about Deacon Tom. He's a grandfather of 2 days. Life, we are vulnerable. But there's one constant that we have as faith believers here, is a community of faith that we can feel that when we're having problems, that there's a group praying for us. I hope Tom and Lorraine won't mind me saying that. I mean, his son-in-law has suffered with cancer, ups and downs and so forth, and we have all been a part of that prayer line. What we have here is something that we never should take for granted. That he's present. He's with us. And all of us have Christ within us. And our words sometimes are words that come directly from him. And the closer that we are to him, the more that we speak and act like Christ. So as we continue this Easter season, let us feel that peace that only can come from Christ, no matter what difficulties that we go through. Amen? Amen.